I've seen a lot of wacky-doodle irrigation installations and repairs in my 30-something years of irrigation, but these two were, unique. Take a ride with me and see how I tackled this project from start to finish. I got a call from a gal south of where I live about 20 minutes away. She said they bought this 7-acre property 10 years ago, but have been putting their money into refurbishing other areas of the property, and now it's time to address the failing sprinkler valve manifolds. They're possibly 30 years old and have steady leaks which they can't shut off without turning off the water to both houses since there are no dedicated shutoff valves for the irrigation. Boy, how many times have I heard that one? That's a topic I've addressed several times in my videos. That you need a dedicated shutoff valve for your irrigation system, as mentioned in the video linked above, so that when there's an issue, no matter whether day or night, you can turn off just your irrigation system water and not your house water until you get someone out to repair the situation. Anywho, that was in May of last year. We didn't get together until August due to both our schedules. I met with her hubby and their two rambunctious guard dogs, Basil and Rathbone. This one loves to play with tetherball while the other one watches on. Mr. C and I learned that we went to the same high school together in a city over 200 miles away. Not only did the previous owner install these two very interesting valve manifolds, but he also installed the timers just inside the walls from each of the two manifolds on opposite sides of the house, underneath the house. This means that time coordination between more than a dozen stations must be done to make sure the two watering schedules don't overlap. That's a hassle. Oh, and that's not all. There are several other timers on the property that compete for time and water as well. Speaking of well, did I mention that this is on a well system? Yep. And there are no filtration devices on the system at all. That will get rectified in part when I rebuild the manifold in a bit. If you're on a well system, be sure to watch this video on the subject. You'll be glad you did. This is the east manifold. The valves in both manifolds are Toro 250 inline valves, and they belong down in the ground in valve boxes like this. The water comes from the booster pump down below and converts to copper under here, somewhere before converting back to PVC for this manifold. On my first visit, I installed a PVC ball valve on the west manifold to stop the 24/7 leak. When I returned in August, I worked on the east manifold. Mr. C cut away all the wood structure before I arrived. First, the wires needed to be labeled with numbered wire markers before I cut the wires at the connectors, then set the wire set aside out of the way. You can see how the gate valve won't shut off all the way, so the sprinkler valves are leaking too. We're going to start at the top. Okay, all of these been cut off. Bam! It's off. The manifold has been removed. I needed to cut out all the old manifold and install the new ball valves to isolate the new manifold and another one to install the irrigation valves that are down on the hill. Before I began, of course, I turned off the water at the well. Now it was time to begin the build. I always do as much building on my tailgate as I can stand upright while I work. As usual, I used Hunter anti-siphon valves for the reasons that I mentioned in my best of video, linked above and below. This time I used 1-inch valves since the system was already set up that way. On the tailgate, I placed this, I call a glue board, to catch the dribbles of glue while I put the manifold together. When not being used, it is stored under this set of bins. I mapped on paper the pipes and their corresponding numbers before I cut out the manifold so I could create the new manifold correctly. I have now installed the male adapters, Y filters, and the inlet pipes onto the valves since I had already decided on the height I wanted for the new manifold. The outlet pipes must be cut one at a time to custom fit. As you can see, I have numbered the T's so I can assemble the manifold in the correct order with the correct components since drip filters are incorporated. When rebuilding a manifold, it can be pretty tricky. You might be able to assembly line the valves, but when connecting them to the outgoing pipes, it must be done one cut at a time, and there is little or no margin for error in pipe lengths. Sometimes the outgoing pipes are at odd angles, so that presents challenges. One of the goals when rebuilding a manifold is to untangle the pipes if they're a mess. Same with the wiring. I left space down there so that if that pipe needs to be cut down there at the T, it can be done. I left that 3/4 inch pipe to the right of it. And I kept all that clear of the shutoff valve. Now it's time to put the other 4 on here. We decided to run new wiring and bypass the original hole in the wall that passed through the 2x4 on the wall since his intention is to remove the 2x4s. Since the block wall under the house was in the way of drilling through right where the valves are, the hole was drilled at the nearest possible place, so I installed a junction box and pipe for the new wiring to feed through. A Romex coupler was installed to keep the critters out. The pipe was installed at the center of the manifold. This finished product looks daunting and confusing, but when taken one step at a time and giving yourself time to ponder and strategize, it is mentally manageable. And here it's buried and ready to run. To protect the valves and wiring from the sun and dogs chewing on the wiring, the plan is for Mr. C to build these handsome-looking Josh's boxes, then Thompson seal them or paint them to match the house to protect the wood. You can build your own Josh's boxes following our simple step-by-step plan. Watch the short video linked above and below to learn more. That's it for the replacement of the east manifold. Check out part 2 to watch as I return another day to rebuild the west manifold under the deck and replace the 2 timers with a single Wi-Fi timer in the garage. Plus a bonus feature at the end. Did you learn anything valuable in this video? What was it? Let us all know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.